Hi everyone. Apologies for the delay. I'm gonna blame Millie. How are we all doing? Welcome to our two-shot. It's gonna be a two-shot. This is part one of two for our actual play of Power by the Apocalypse duet game, Follow Me Down by Drowning Moon Studios. As you can hear, for those of you that have been keeping up with me in any way, shape or form, my voice is not quite recovered. It's mostly there. At any point it might just crack and go, and we'll take a short break if it does that. But for the most part, feeling a lot better. So welcome to A Song to Fix What's Wrong. Follow Me Down is a game by Drowning Moon Studios. It is modeled around the story of Orpheus and Eurydice, which is my all-time favorite myth ever. And we will be weaving our own interpretation of the perilous journey through an underworld of our devising. Let's introduce ourselves. I will start. My name is Kat. I am known across the interwebs as the Law Mistress. I'm probably not known as that, but that's my brand name anyway. Go on, what do you say?
I think that you are the lore mistress. I refer to I don't, but
you don't, no. Yeah, just in casual conversation. What up, lore mistress? No,
I call you Story Queen.
Hey, Story Queen. So I'm Kat. My pronouns are she, her, and I will be playing today the Eurydice playbook. So I will be playing Kaylee. And Kaylee's pronouns are she, they. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Jen.
Oh shit. Hi. Hello friends. I'm Jen. I am Jen Burb. People usually call me Jen or Burb. No one really calls me Jen Burb. I will be playing your friendly local Orpheus, whose name in this particular instance is Cyril, whose pronouns are he, they, because we are living in a modern world with modern pronouns.
Hey, they bays.
They bays.
Thing. I'll make that catch on.
Except like THAE, like theys.
Theys. Was I loud at the beginning? Was it my voice?
Apparently you were screaming when you said "Hey everyone," but you know what? I appreciate you. I appreciate your "Hey everyone's."
I didn't scream. I just kind of. Hi everyone. Okay, sorry. Too much energy. All right. Cool. So that's who we are. Let's get on just kind of to the safety stuff, which I kind of like to go through before we begin our game. If you are aware at all of the original tale of Orpheus and Eurydice, you might know that some of the themes that could come up might include loss, grief, death of a loved one, troubled relationships, regret, and guilt. We personally are hopeful for reconciliation and reunion between our pair, but it's not guaranteed. So if those things are not things that make you comfy, or if at any point we touch upon something in this gameplay that you consider harmful to your headspace in any way, then thank you for your support, but we will have to politely ask you to protect yourself, remove yourself and protect yourself before feeling like you have to be here. That being said, well, I think that's it. Are we ready to go? Are you
Am I ready? No, but am I also ready with a with like a? I'm not ready with a capital R, but I'm ready with a lowercase r.
Okay. Well, that's something. I'll follow, like, and subscribe. Like and subscribe, everyone. Feel free. I think Moobot's doing the good work here in chat. They are as well. Damn, Moobot, you're in it. You're in on it today. Please, if you enjoy this at all, give me a follow, or now I'm affiliate, so I can ask for subs too. I'm not good at it at the moment. I'm definitely not good at asking for subs. But if you feel that way inclined, I would definitely be very, very appreciative of that.
I'm trying so hard not to make the bad joke.
Everyone is forgetting the J's in people's names in chat. I love it.
No, we're just moving the J's.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see. All right. That being said, let's get into it, shall we? When people tell the tale of Orpheus and Eurydice, they are often guilty of casting the wrong light upon it. Many think of it as a tale of shining love. They weep at the idea of a pair written so perfectly to be together, being cruelly ripped apart by a villainous, selfish king of the underworld. They forget that Eurydice's fate and Orpheus's separation from her was, tragically, their own doing. It is in fact an honest story of a relationship that is not perfect, an attempt to make it better, and the grief that comes with failing to do so. Cyril and Kaylee had a similar kind of love. When they met, it burned instantly and brightly, and those that saw them would think them inseparable, a star-crossed pair from different worlds, fated to be together, able to weather any storm. But time is the world's most deadly killer, and soon the cracks between them began to show. The need to fix things could no longer be ignored. Their story has all the makings of the myth we know so well, a celebration turned sour, the sound of one crying out for the other, and it falling upon ears that won't hear. The realization that a terrible tragedy has occurred, and the beginnings of a journey to reverse it. Let us hope they fare better than their ancient predecessors. So, Cyril, you wake up. You are in your tent. And you probably at this point you're a little bit drowsy from sleep. You only have a very vague recollection of the night before. Your arrival at this sort of like camp that you've set up with Kaylee, the very tense atmosphere as you kind of waited for this beautiful meteor shower that you had both decided to come here to enjoy, and that would mark a celebration of sorts, your anniversary. The ensuing argument also comes back to you, and you can very clearly remember Kaylee storming off. And then the phone call, which was ignored. As you kind of wake up, there is no sign of Kaylee in the tent with you.
And I think it starts as this kind of grogginess. It's been a very long night, and there were certainly many emotions running around last night. And the first thing that I think I would realize is that I only remember the one call.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when we get into an argument like this, our rule is to never go to bed angry. So we have this tradition where we will at the very least say goodnight.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't remember hearing the phone ring more than once, which is not quite... Something is off.
Yes, 100%. I feel like they've at least got to the point where if one of them tries to ring the other, and one doesn't want to, I think that they always answer the phone even if they're angry with each other normally, just because it could be an emergency, right? but you didn't answer the phone last night. And looking at your phone now, there is indeed only one missed call from Kaylee. There is a voicemail.
Which, of course, I will go ahead and open.
It is mostly static. You can hear the odd words. It's very like when someone is trying to leave a voicemail, like when they're traveling underground and they're getting like that one.
It's like the tunnel.
They're on the station's Wi-Fi. They've just managed to get through to you, and then the train has pulled away, so they got like that one word out, and then it's just gone. And you can't even, like, you're trying very hard, even just to make out one word of what is being said, and you can't. It's an absolute gobble mess. You can recognize the tone. It is Kaylee's voice, but beyond that, you don't know what is being said. It just sounds and you know, you're in the middle of the woods, so the signal out here is not good. And that could maybe be a part of it, but looking around, it doesn't look to you like Kaylee came back to the tent last night.
And that is concerning, obviously. However, if I'm correct, it sounds like there is no sign of her leaving either, as far as like her stuff is still here. There's no sign that she has packed up and gone home.
Yes. So you know that when she as she often does, you know, when you get into an argument, grabs sort of like her scarf and her jacket and her phone, and says, you know, I'm going for a walk, and that's kind of her calming down mechanism. And she did that. Nothing changed about that last night.
There's a wildcat here.
I can see. Pippin wants to be involved. Pippin's like, Kaylee, you good? But nothing else has been taken. It would have just been like literally a jacket, a scarf, and a phone, and there's nothing else missing. All of the stuff is like unpacked as it was when you came to bed last night. Nothing looks disturbed, but nothing looks taken either.
Which is so much more unsettling than it would have been if all of her stuff would have just been gone. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that I think that Cyril does is dial up Kaylee.
So you try to call Kaylee, and the phone rings and rings and rings, and then it just cuts off mid-ring, and for a second it's like that moment of pause where you think, oh, it's cut off mid-ring, someone's picked up, and then you just get, the number you have called is unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone.
You do a good robot voice. Okay.
Great conversations with Siri.
Oh, absolutely. And that I think sets off some level of worry, some level of fear. And he's gonna pull up text messages and send an iMessage and see if it comes up green. Because you know, girls got an iPhone.
You attempt to reach out to Kaylee in an all host of different manners. No, it comes up, if you're doing it as an iMessage, it comes up with that little red exclamation mark. It's not going through.
And that the more ways that the more ways that I try to get in touch with her, and the more ways that and the more
Now we've
ways
just confused chat.
yeah, okay. The green
And
message
then-
means that essentially it didn't go through the way it was supposed to.
yeah. It means bad signal
Yeah.
on the horizon.
It means bad signal, or like
We
an
are
Android
not
user,
sponsored
but
by Apple in any way.
no, we're just shit posting. But I think the more ways that I try to get in touch with her, and the more ways that seem to be failing, just brings up more and more of that unsettled, worried feeling. Shut your fuck, Darcy. And eventually it gets to the point where I just run outside and shout for her.
All right. So you head outside, and a few things will come to your attention. So first of all, the fire that you kind of had lit last night is still half burning. It's still half smoldering, which
Dangerous
is a sign that Kaylee has not come back, because the agreement, or the sort of like grumbled agreement, was if you're going to bed, I'll put the fire out when I'm back. That was the agreement. So Kaylee has not come back, has not put the fire out, has not done anything. So you can kind of ascertain from that, like, that there's no sign of that she came back in any capacity. The car's still there. Nothing seems to have been disturbed elsewhere. There's no other tent up or anything. Nothing indicates that Kaylee is in an area near here. Now, the interesting thing about here is that much of the campsite looks familiar, and much of the sort of surrounding forest looks familiar, but it doesn't look the same. It's almost like you're suddenly looking through, like, you're wearing glasses that have like a sort of color tinted lenses. Everything is not quite the right color. Things that you thought you remembered being in one spot have now moved to a slightly different spot. Not your possessions, but the natural landmarks of the place around you. You know, there was a big rock to the right of your tent, and now it's on the left. And the sky is this sort of slight pinkish hue. It's not the natural color of the sky. Furthermore, the sounds, it's not quite right. Nothing like, outwardly wrong in terms of that it's like obviously wrong. It's not the sound of a raging city in the middle of the countryside, but it just doesn't have the same energy. This area doesn't have the same energy they did last night. It feels like you're not quite where you were.
It's a bit to the left.
It's a bit, yes, it's a little off. And I think probably the one sound that would get your attention the most is you are in the mid. You picked a clearing that was particularly quiet, and you remember this because when there was that tension last night, the silence was even more deafening as a result. It was because it was just, there was no sound around. But right now you can hear the sound of a quite loud, quite close by rushing river, which you could not hear before. You call out for Kaylee. There is no response.
And I think as I am picking up that something is wrong, something isn't quite right, I pick up on the sound of this river. And it would be great if Pippin could stop crunching on plastic. I pick up on the sound of this river. And it kind of comes to me that I don't remember this. And whatever this sound is, maybe it can help me figure out what the hell is happening. So I follow the sound of the river.
All right. And as you're going, do you do so quietly? Do you?
Oh no, I continue calling for Kaylee because at this point I am concerned. I am very worried. Especially since there is now a river where there was not a river. There are some concerns here.
All right. So, you are cool. So you sort of start to make your way. You continue to call out, and every so often you catch sort of like movement around you, which obviously you're on the lookout for that because you're on the lookout for any sign that Kaylee might be around. It feels like bigger movement, which is slightly disarming. As you kind of make your way towards this river, you at one point call out Kaylee's name, and you've been kind of like, as you've been calling it out, there's been like, because of the acoustics of the place, there's been like echoes of you kind of calling that out. But this time you receive a response, but it is your own voice calling out Kaylee, and it's too quick almost to be an echo. It's like it's almost more like a copy.
And hi, Millie.
Yes, my cat has come in to make sure that everything's okay. Come in.
She's perfect, and I love her. And I think the first thing that I do is a little experiment. I call once more and see if the voice continues to echo at the same speed, I suppose.
Hey, Billy. Girl. You call once more, and as you call, there is no response for 5-10 seconds. And then the response comes again. It is you just calling out for Kaylee again. It's exactly the same voice. And it's sort of almost followed up by this low giggle, this very disconcerting low laughter.
Well, that's concerning. I'm going to follow the sound of that.
All right. I am going to say
concerns increase. Yes.
Concern increases. I'm going to say that I mean, what are you feeling as you start to follow this? Are you feeling like it can actually lead you anywhere? Or are you just curious? Are you concerned? Or
I am, the pervading emotion here is worry. I am concerned because my girlfriend did not come back last night. I am concerned that I cannot find her, that her phone seems to be out of service. Oh my. It is starting to border on panic.
Mm-hmm. Border on panic. I can imagine, yeah. So, all right, you kind of, I think that at this point, you're not being very careful as you kind of like make your way through this slightly changed world. You're following odd ghostly voices. I think that you're taking risks in order to do so. And the move, because this is powered by the Apocalypse game, that kind
We
of
love
talks
to power the
about
apocalypse.
taking risks, is called Prove Your Love. So, you know, it's sort of fueled by this desperate desire to find Kaylee. So you'll be rolling with passion.
Well, I'm not bad at rolling with passion.
Not bad at rolling with passion. As a passionate man, is our Cyril.
Jesus.
So yes, 2d6, and then I believe your passion is +1.
It is. Also, please appreciate the very pretty dice I've got going.
Ooh, pretty.
And we'll see how Cyril does as he rolls with passion, and one of the dice rolls off the table into my lap. Well, that is a 4 and a 6 for a total of 10 plus 1 is 11.
All right. So, yeah, that's a raging success.
It is so raging.
It's a pretty good success.
It's a panicking success.
You have to roll a 10 or above, so you did good. I would like you to take a moment to describe, you know, you're obviously feeling very like worried and anxious, fearful at this point. Describe a positive memory that kind of gets you, of your love specifically, that kind of gets you through this moment and kind of spurs you on to be brave, as it were.
I think there was a relatively simple, almost a throwaway moment to, you know, your average person. Hearing his own voice reflected back to him, it makes him think of the time that Kaylee had forgotten to bring her towel in to shower with her, and she had to call him in to bring her a towel so she could get out of the shower and get dressed. Just that sound of her voice echoing through their dingy little apartment, and the giggles that they had both gotten, as in an effort to be, you know, like respectful, he'd basically just opened the door a crack and like shoved his arm through with a towel and just like and that memory brings exactly and that sound of her laughter echoing in the bathroom, as she'd taken the towel and then come out and just given him a little kiss, brings a little smile to his face, as he searches for this mystery voice.
And I think that as you kind of like you kind of reminded of that, like that echoing, and you sort of spurred on to start following this voice, you sort of walk towards it is sort of going towards the river where the direction of this voice is coming from, but it is off the sort of path that you're taking. It seems to kind of lead a bit deeper into the forest. You kind of come out of that memory with this sort of like moment where she'd sort of kissed your cheek and she'd smiled and she'd said, oh, my hero. And you hear from the trees Kaylee's voice saying to you, my hero, again. You kind of hear that, like, sort of that echo of that moment coming from the trees. And you call out once more because that's Kaylee's voice that you can hear. And from the river, you hear someone else, a sound of a voice going, hello, someone there? And
I imagine the voice is not Kaylee's voice.
No. Very sort of like brusque, sharp. Definitely pulled you out of this moment where you're kind of like walking towards this what could be Kaylee, or could be something else, but you are pulled from this moment by this very sudden, sharp sounding voice from nearby. Someone call?
And I think for a moment, he looks between the direction that this voice is coming from and the direction that these echoes had come from. And he calls back, "Hello? Who are you?"
Who am I? Who are you?
I asked first.
Well, I said hello first.
Sassy little shit. Where are you?
Bit further down by the river. Come where I can see you.
In a moment, I'm looking for someone.
Maybe I can help.
Have you seen anyone?
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific than that.
And I will. What does Katie look like? So I can give this mystery voice a description of my girlfriend, who I love very much.
You can't remember. Could you imagine if I just dropped that on you? You have no idea. You have no idea what you're looking at.
I don't know, but the name is Kaylee.
Kaylee has a sort of a slightly tanned complexion, which is quite at odds with their very frizzy ginger hair.
That's the cutest thing I've ever heard. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So I think what I shout back is ginger, freckles, looks a bit like she spent the day at the beach.
All right. Well, I think that you're at this point trying to charm a denizen. Charm some information out of this man that you can't see. He's definitely like straining his voice to call up to you.
Sounds like a charm a denizen roll.
It does sound like that. So if you could roll with poetry, please. Poetry.
Oh, I'm good at that.
You're good at that.
I'm good at poetry. Let's see how this goes. Not as good. It is a 7 + 2, so 9.
9.
Partial
All
success.
right. Okay, well, it is a success. They reveal something crucial about their nature or desires that gets you the information you're seeking. But I also get to pick. Something, which I'm not sure if I reveal to you. So he kind of lets out this laugh, and he says, "Come on, lad, I'm hungry. You must be too. Why don't you come down here, and I'll we'll talk about this lass of yours."
That certainly sets off some alarm bells, because let's talk about it is certainly a much more complicated answer to have you seen this girl than I think he would like. But at this point, he is getting desperate. There is that panic setting in. And he is getting to the point where he would probably be fun to, he would probably willingly catch a fish with his bare hands if it meant figuring out what the hell happened to, Kaylee. So he will shout back, "Keep talking so I can find you." And follow the source of that voice?
I think I think he starts off sort of like awkwardly. You know when someone does like, well, we know about this because we do APs, when someone's like, say something into the mic and suddenly you lose all sense of what words are. I think he had this moment where you're like, keep talking, and he's like, well, what do you want me to say? Anything specific? And he just starts to kind of go off on a bit of a tangent, and then he sort of starts singing, and actually it's a bit disconcerting how quickly he kind of changes into like from this sort of like slightly bumbling but quite fun, you know, seemingly charming person. He's like singing, and he's not just like nervously singing, he's singing with like gusto, like some kind of like river shanty vibes. And as you kind of like round the corner, you finally locate where he is. Out in the river, or sort of pulled up by the side, there is a man. He's got like a sort of it's like a bit of a cloak on, like a traveling cloak, and he's in a long wooden boat. He has a sort of a pair of oars, and he looks up at you and he goes, "Oh, there you are." And what's your name, lad?
Cyril, what's yours?
Who did you say you were looking for again?
My partner. Who are you?
I'm the boatman.
Do you have a name?
Oh, folks just call me the boatman.
What do you call yourself?
The boatman.
There, according to the map, there wasn't a river here.
What do you mean there's not a river there? There's been a river here as long as I've been rowing here.
How long have you been rowing here? 10 minutes?
Long time. All my life.
Where is here?
He kind of looks at you and he goes, "You seem lost, lad."
Where is here? Where are we?
Not somewhere you're supposed to be.
You like to be vague, don't you?
Sandwich, and he kind of like pulls this and sort of like I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty poor excuse for a sandwich.
Is it like all smushed and like...
Yeah, it's like all smushed and like it's in this like bag, and you can see like where the stains on the bag where most of the filling is like out of it. It's like as he pulls it out, it like flops apart, and and he's just like, "I'm hungry. Aren't you hungry?"
I'm all right. It usually takes a few minutes to strike up an appetite after I've woken. You can go ahead and, you know, unopened, unsealed food from strangers and all that.
Oh well, I'll save it just in case you change your mind. And
I don't think I will.
He kind of like pops it back into his smushing it in back to his pocket again.
I think for just a second, Cyril forgets the panic just at this utter confusion of suddenly there's a river, suddenly it's always been here, and he's not supposed to be here, so what's going on?
Well, if we're to find your lass, you'll have to get in boat.
So you have seen them.
I might have done.
Well, did you or didn't you? She's certainly hard to miss.
Oh,
You'd remember if you'd seen her.
he kind of looks as if he's like really thinking on it, like he's really trying to remember. And then he kind of goes, "Oh, sandwich," and then he kind of pulls this smushed sandwich out of his pocket. He says, "Get in, boat. We need to go and have a look for this lass of yours."
No, she wouldn't be down the river. They wouldn't go that far.
Oh, they all go down the river eventually.
No, not the literal river, not the metaphorical river.
How do you know they're not the same? And he looks very serious at that for a moment. How long's she been missing?
The last time I saw her was last night. A bit before the meteor shower.
Meteor shower?
That's what we came
I
out
might
here
have
for.
seen her. And he kind of looks and he sort of pats the bench of his boat. I saw someone in a meteor shower way down that way, and he kind of gestures behind him.
When?
Last night.
Were they safe?
Well, let's go look, shall we?
This little fucker.
Yeet your shower.
Yeet your shower. He looks distinctly suspicious and not convinced, but this is also the only lead that he has gotten so far.
You're getting it's very difficult to tell. He seems to be trying to be helpful.
In this very strange roundabout way.
But he's also like being distinctly unhelpful at the same time. And it's like a very odd feeling because you're not sure. Like he has these flashes of these moments where he just seems incredibly muddled and like he doesn't really know much about what he's talking about, and then moments of like real sort of lucid clarity where he knows exactly what he's talking about and just a real sharpness to his eye. But it's difficult to tell with him, I think, at the moment. But he does seem to be sort of a little fixated on your goal.
And his sandwich.
And his sandwich. He's very hungry.
I think Cyril will step into the boat with him. Do you have a sandwich for yourself or just for me?
I feel like that is when you ask him that, are you just genuinely just asking him about his sandwiches, or
I don't think I even know. I think it's this curiosity of something between what the hell are you doing with that sandwich and are you offering me your last sandwich and are you just trying to see what I'm going to do? It's something between an assessment and it's something between a risk assessment and a genuine curiosity.
Assessment.
Look, you don't take unsealed food from strangers. You just don't.
He goes, as you ask about the sandwich, you do see that clarity in his eye, but then he sort of like looks at you and he goes, "Oh, sandwich? I've got got one if you want one.
Split it?
I suppose.
Down the middle?
So. And he kind of pulls it out of his pocket. He rips it in half.
I actually am going to stop him. Not that way. And then I will hold my hand out for the sandwich.
He hands it over.
And I turn it 45 degrees and I rip it diagonally. Don't ask me why. If you rip it diagonally, there's more sandwich. And I hand him the other half.
He takes it and he goes, "Oh, you're clever. I like that."
Because I think I figured out that whatever is going on, this fucker seems to know something. And he genuinely seems a little bit... I'm not certain I think he has enough marbles to try and kill me.
So as he kind of goes, "Oh, you're clever, I like that," and he's kind of like smiling, and he kind of starts to move the boat out, and you're sort of traveling down the river. You hear back up from the forest, you hear the sound of a voice. It is Kaylee's voice, and it is a sort of cry out for you. You hear just sort of this like Cyril from the trees, and at that sound, the boatman immediately and almost aggressively sort of looks at you sharply and says, "Ignore that."
What? No, that's them.
Not.
And Cyril definitely goes to get out of the boat.
I said ignore it. And he kind of grabs he grabs at you. Are you what are you doing? Are you gonna listen?
No, I don't think I'm gonna listen. Ooh. That's my boo out there.
All right. So tell me, are you going to attempt to flee, or are you going to lash out? Because this boatman, he grabs onto you at this point to try to get you back in the boat. You're in the middle of the river. So are you going to are you recklessly fleeing, or are you lashing out in contempt to get him off you?
I think that depends on whether he will let go if I continue to pull.
No.
The focus is getting out, not hitting him. But I will if I have to.
But I will say this, as he's grabbing onto you, he is saying, there are dangerous things in the woods. Like, he is saying that to you.
And I think the response is just a panicked, well, that's my girlfriend in the woods, and I can't leave her alone. I can't leave her alone. And I am, I think, just trying to go. So I guess it's a recklessly flee.
Trying to recklessly flee. All right, roll with philosophy then.
I'm good at that.
You're not good at that.
Narrator voice. That is in fact my dump stat. Oh my. 3.
A 3.
Fall into the fucking river.
Mm-hmm. All right. What I'm going to say happens to you, because I am now going to make a hard move.
A hard move.
A hard move against
I love it when you make a hard move on me, Kat.
That is. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I hate myself too.
Yeah, I mean, flirting with me is not going to help you here. All right. Let me just get these moves up. So. All right. So first of all, I think because you failed quite spectacularly.
I did. It was real
with
bad.
3. You're trying to get away. This boatman has a hold on you, and as he holds on to you, his voice is like panicked at first. It's like like, don't go out there, there's dangerous things in the woods. And as you keep trying and you keep trying to fight, his voice changes, and that sort of like sharpness, that clarity kind of comes back to him. His his attempts to stop you become more aggressive. His fingers sort of dig hard into your skin. It's no longer like he's trying to stop you at this point. He actually seems to be physically trying to hurt you. And he sort of twists your arm in his grip. And you can't get out of his grasp at this point. He's got a hold of you. And his tone, he becomes angry, and he says, you were trying to get back to your girl. I was trying to help you,
but she's out there.
No, she's not. She's with the Lord of the Manor now. And
what?
He twists your arm behind your back, and he says, and you don't belong here, and you shouldn't be here, and there's only one way to make it that you're supposed to be here.
We have a camping permit.
His
so good. Like, Cyril is just so confused. He's like, we have a permit.
His jaw starts to elongate. I don't know why I said that in a northern accent. Like, it's elongating.
Oh no! Don't start with the northernness.
And it like starts to like sort of detach, almost like when a viper does, like
unhinging the jaw.
Snake. Yeah, they unhinge their jaw.
He unhinges his jaw and swallows me whole. Got it.
And his teeth start to sharpen. His eyes sort of like begin to glow this very sort of pale blue, and he's sort of repeating, but there's this rasp to his voice now, like you shouldn't be here, and there's only one way to make you fit in, and I'm hungry. And he starts to like lean in, as if to, I'm going to give you one harm because he is hurting you physically. Let's start this off. Harm. For those
like shoving the sandwich at him, like, here, you can have it.
I got a camping permit.
I didn't even want the sandwich in the first place.
Now, he's like roughing. He's coming at you now. So you failed to flee, but you can attempt to hurt him to get him off you.
Yeah. Dual wielding.
Or you can attempt to do something else. Orpheus has a few different moves.
Yeah.
Or Cyril, I suppose, has a few different moves.
I think what I'm going to do is just kind of like brace myself, like basically like shove my arms up against him, lock my elbows, so I'm kind of holding him at arm's length, and look him in the teeth. And I think it goes from, I go from this panic to this quiet worry. And I tell him, look, I don't know what's going on. I don't know where I am. I just want to find her. If you can help me, then help me. Please. You can have the other half of the sandwich too.
What move are you attempting to make here?
I'm torn. I think it might be beg for help. It could be stir the heart, but I think it's more beg for help. It could kind of go either way. Because like I am kind of tugging at his heartstrings a little bit with the big puppy dog eyes, but like I am just being like, please help me.
I think it really depends on like if you're kind of just saying like, oh please help me, then it would be beg for help.
But I am also trying to get him to calm the fuck down.
So I guess in that sense, you would potentially be doing it. You're trying to if you're trying to like, at the moment, he seems to be becoming quite monstrous. Okay. Yeah. If you're attempting to calm him down in a way, perhaps you're like, you need to you could try to appeal to an emotion. But I guess it really depends on whether you think you know of an emotion that would.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think I've really identified what makes him tick aside from being cryptic and sandwiches.
It seems to be the hunger is the thing.
Yeah.
And it seems to be particularly you that he's interested in. Things in this world, wherever you are, they don't sate the hunger in the way that you might be able to. I'll allow you to choose, and then I can flavor. If you're successful or unsuccessful, I can flavor it whichever way. So I'll let you choose which one you want.
I think I'm going to start with beg for help. And see where things go from there.
All right.
Because I did offer him the other half of the sandwich.
Okay, so you're rolling then with pathos with beg for help,
which I am perfectly neutral in. Let's see how this goes. Well, it's a 7.
A 7. All right.
Barely a success. A hit with complications, quote unquote.
So it is a success. Yes, they will demand a favor.
They can have a favor
for their aid. So I think in this moment, like, he definitely has the upper hand on you. I feel like the way that you succeed could be, and it could be through kind of, as you're begging for him to help you, maybe you figure out a way of sort of promising or finding a way of telling him that you might find something that will be more satisfying to his hunger than yourself. He's I mean, this guy is gonna eat you.
Yeah, hot,
So,
real hot.
I'm trying to think what he would want as a favor in return.
Right.
Really, what he would want is some level of promise or something. I think he would give that to you in his kind of like you would kind of discover through this interaction that he is hungry, and it's surrounds a sort of a curse, I guess, of being the boatman. He sort of says to you, "You don't understand. That's just how things are here. The river is the only way to the manor, and the only people allowed in the manor are people like me, not people like you. If I eat you, then you'll become like me, and you can go and get your girlfriend."
How else can I get it? If I catch you a fish, if I find you berries, if I feed you my camping permit.
And he's kind of like, no, everything here, everything. You think I haven't tried?
Take a finger.
Ooh. He kind of he kind of like leans back and cocks his head and he goes, "A finger?" You know, there's things out there far more difficult than me.
I know. Take a finger anyway. If you can find me my Kaylee, then take a finger.
All right. Deal. And I think he sees for a moment, you know, he could easily eat all of you, but you're offering him a paltry finger. But then he sees that this finger is important to you because you are, of course, a piano player. And so really you are offering him something quite extraordinary. And of course, I just saw chat. And he does. And it hurts.
It's okay, I have first aid.
Great. So I'm gonna give you another harm.
Understandable. Have a great day.
Yeah. As a result of that. But what he will do is he actually pulls up to the side of the river, and he says, "You can only follow the river so far on the boat before I won't be able to help myself. You'll need another guide." And he lets out a low whistle, and from the tree line comes this large beast. It is claws and teeth and snarling at first, and it's sort of it almost looks like a sort of hybrid between a dog and a hyena. Winds its way out of the trees. One head and then two more join beside it. And they sort of like regard you. And they look at the boatman with this sort of very reproachful look. And he goes, I know, I was hungry. And the dog creature sort of growls. He goes, well, go on then. Take him to the manor. And one of the heads opens its mouth. And in the clearest voice, mimics your echoes from earlier, of you yelling out for Kaylee. And it kind of goes, Kaylee, kind of thing, and sort of starts to walk into the trees, its tail wagging, looking back at you.
I kind of look in between this good boys and
Good boy. Good
boys.
1, 2, 3 boys.
And the boatman. And I ask, is the water safe to touch?
The creature growls softly. Then it kind of gets down onto its paws, as if, because it's very large, it's definitely like double the size of you. It sort of gets down and as if to and then sort of gestures as if to kind of get you to get on its back.
Okay. And just before I get on its back, Jen's gonna make a really fucking bad joke. And I will look at the boatman, and I will say, take care on that river.
Don't go eating any more unsealed sandwiches from strangers. And then he sort of gets back out on the river.
And I will get on the good boys.
All right. And I think we'll end your time at the river there. And we'll swap roles now.
Oh, we love to swap roles.
We're
switching it up on here.
Yeah, we're switching it up.
And there's the brain cell.
Yeah.
Folks, you have just watched as the brain cell just it like hit the corner of the screen like the DVD logo, and we experienced a brain cell.
Yes. I do feel like that's our shared brain cell. All right. So now I will be transitioning, and I will no longer be in charge of what's going on. And it's Jen's turn to guide me through our second book. Oh, I have lost your sound.
Nope, that wasn't you. It was me forgetting to hit the unmute button. Don't mind me. There are questions, right?
Oh, there are! Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, so we need to ask each other questions first. So sorry, everyone. We know exactly what we're doing here. So let's do that first then. So I think I'm asking you a question first, aren't I? At the end of that, as we kind of round out and you sort of watch this creature lumbering off into the forest with Orpheus.
I mean, it is a forest. There's a lot of lumber.
With Cyril on its back. Orpheus, or Cyril, what were you celebrating before Eurydice died?
So this trip was supposed to be this trip was technically for an anniversary. We were supposed to be celebrating that. We were supposed to be celebrating the chance to kind of we'd been going through a rough patch, and it was supposed to be a celebration of our anniversary. It was supposed to be a chance for us to get more in tune with each other again, and it was a celebration of that. And I personally was celebrating the idea that we would be able to function more in harmony again. And a question for you in return, Kaylee/Eurydice. How did you die?
Well, we both came into the evening with the same agenda, I think. But I think that we came onto it with different approaches, and we ended up arguing. So Kaylee played her customary move in such incidents, and went for a walk. And I think that when we argue, that's something that she quite often does. She kind of like storms out, but always with the "I'm going for a walk" sassy attitude. And she did indeed do that. She didn't go too far, I don't think. However, as she kind of walked further and further away from the camp, she came into a sort of like clearing that sort of was at the top of a very steep overhang. And I think she sat there for a while, ruminating and thinking and sitting on that anger for quite some time. And then the meteor shower that we had both been looking forward to watching and waiting for, it had been the start of the argument, actually, because it was something that Cyril was very excited about, and Kaylee had become convinced that perhaps Cyril had got the wrong date or had misread the situation, because it did not appear when it was supposed to appear. However, it did come, and
wow, why aren't I calling you the fuck out?
It sounds like you're about to fall off a bluff while Stargate. Well, potentially, yes. I think that she called, or tried to call, to kind of get this to say, like, do you know what? Arguments aside, come and watch this fucking thing with me, because it's really pretty, and I do love you. And she couldn't get the signal to call properly, and she sort of did the classic getting further and further out on the verge trying to get signal, and maybe even trying to record video. And she fell. That's how she died. She died because she fell, and she died because her call was not picked up. So. Wee!
We're both going to hell.
We are so good. The other thing we need to address, just as we're coming out of the river, which I also forgot about, there was a keepsake. Within each scene, you can acquire a keepsake, and the more keepsakes that you amass over the course of a game, the more likely you are to, as they say in video game terms, unlock the good ending. You did not manage, I don't think, to get Said,
No, I survived that encounter by the skin of my teeth.
you survived that encounter with one less finger.
Yeah.
But you've learned a valuable lesson. And you've made a friend with the goodest boy. So there's that.
I made a friend in the form of a very good boys.
So you did not manage to get a keepsake during your one.
I made a pun, and that's the important part.
Yeah, well, that is obviously the most important thing. So we move on then to the meadow.
The meadow.
Tell us, Fates, where's Kaylee right now? What's going on with Kaylee?
So it's funny, Kaylee, you remember storming off. You remember finding somewhere, well, it's all quiet, but you remember finding somewhere that felt quiet, didn't just look quiet or sound quiet. You found a nice little overlook that overlooked some of the forest on lower ground, perhaps slightly farther than you normally would have gone, but you needed to get away for a few minutes, and it's not in the city where you could normally just storm off to a coffee shop and sit down with a nice hot cocoa. It's a little bit different, so you had to walk a little bit further just to clear your mind. You saw this beautiful meteor shower. You tried to call Cyril. He did not pick up. You tried to get out onto that ledge to get a better signal. You maybe even used your selfie stick for it. Do you have a selfie stick?
I do now.
Yes,
and Jen. I got
yes, and perfect. Some things don't need to be yes-ended.
Slander. It's the slanderous thing you could do.
And
he's a selfie stick person though.
We're just gonna say, for the sake of fun, it was the Perseid meteor shower because I know those are a thing and I've seen them before and they're very pretty. And you remember calling, you remember leaving this voicemail, essentially, you know, like this is a beautiful fucking shower and I love you, so come watch it with me. But that one bar that's flickering between one bar and the little SOS signal, you couldn't quite get that signal. You kept stretching. And you remember the feeling of dropping. You remember the feeling of falling. And I think as you awake in the middle of what appears to be a misty meadow, it's almost as if you... It's almost like that sensation where you're falling asleep and then you jolt awake because you felt just for a split second like you were falling. And you awake in a meadow. It is very difficult to see very far around you. It is mostly just mist. It is mostly just mist. But you can see in this meadow, it's not a well-kept, beautifully groomed anything. It is long grass, it's wildflowers. You can see little bits of clariodendrum, these little infuriating little... You actually recognize it as Cyril's favorite flower, which is, you know, the music note plant.
Yep.
You recognize. Shut your fuck. Cat thinks it's a testicle plant. I disagree.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. This is a beautiful description. Don't let me.
Okay.
Don't let.
Anyway, yes, there's the testicle plant. Got it.
Yep, beautiful. Hey, Steph, how you doing? Welcome in. Okay. So I'm sorry.
Anyway,
back to the beautiful imagery.
Yes, the misty meadows, the music note plant. You can see lilies, you can see red poppies, you can see heliotrope. It is a walled meadow. It appears to not have been touched in some time. And there is a single exit that you can see, barely through the mist, just a simple iron gate at the other end of the meadow. And the other thing you notice is what appears to be an ornate table. It appears to be carved out of a single piece of wood. And on it is piled what appears to be a feast. The remains of a feast. You see decanters of half-drunk wine, some mostly full, some mostly empty, platters piled high with steaks arranged on these little beds of vegetables, like the stupid little kale beds that you aren't really sure if they're like decoration or if they're actual food. It's like that. It's like that style.
The bougie.
Yes,
stuff.
it's a bougie feast. There's the steaks. There's the sub-goal mat. Nice.
Sub-goal. I saw that, but I was like I was trying to let you.
No, absolutely. There's a big sign on the table that says sub-goal mat.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, what is
that? There's the steaks, there's the weird decoration kale, and you can see these little small containers of caviar that cost like $100 just for a spoonful.
Yeah.
It all smells absolutely incredible. Reminds you a little bit of a couple of weddings that you've been to, honestly. And around the table, there are a handful of chairs. There's 12 chairs arranged around the table. Each appears to have people sitting in it. You can't quite tell who. You're a bit too far away. But each chair appears to have someone sitting in it. And a little ways away from that, the stump of what appears to be a great tree with someone sitting against it.
And this is on the way to the exit.
Yes, it is between you and the exit.
Great. Love that. Okay, first of all, I would like to know.
No.
Am I in any pain?
You are hungry.
Hungry.
You're not in pain, but you are ravenously hungry.
Ooh, that's interesting. All right. So the smell is pretty good.
It smells incredible. It smells like you have walked into your favorite bougie ass steakhouse.
And so I think I start with the memories of that argument and everything like that just before.
Yep.
All right. So I do have some recollection of arguing with a person that I love deeply. So I kind of think I would look around for them. I think I would be looking around. Do I see Cyril anywhere?
You do not see any sign of Cyril.
That seems odd. Well, perhaps I am kind of hungry. Perhaps these people that are over here might know where he is, and might also want to offer me some food. Are they eating, or are they just staring at it?
They are just staring. They appear to just be staring. They are not moving to touch the food.
Well, that's disconcerting. And then there's one person like off to the side, just sitting against a stump.
Yep, the stump is a bit beyond the table. It is between the table and the exit. And there is just someone that appears to be sitting against it.
Well, I'm going to go and approach the table first.
All right.
Let me see if there's a particular move that I want to do. I think at this point I'm being a little cautious, but I'm not at this point trying to I'm not at this point trying to hide.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
I'm just kind of like sort of get up and I kind of look around and dust myself off, and realizing I'm not quite in where I would expect to be, but also there's this thing. These people seem to be the people that might be able to give me some answers to what the heck is going on. So I will head on over and I'll kind of just go, excuse me?
Okay. One thing that you notice as you approach is that these guys are still. Unnaturally still. And as you approach one to speak to it, you realize that their clothes are very fancy. We're talking like black tie event. Black tie formal. They are dressed in these beautiful fine garments. Some are wearing what appear to be gowns, but they are all in a state of decay. They are not alive.
Oh, that sounds like an uncomfortable situation.
I think they're very comfortable, but
I think that would immediately change up the emotion somewhat. I think I would like to try to use a move called Pierce the Veil.
Oh, brain cell. Go for it.
Try to figure out what is going on here. Like, I think her first thought is like, I think that she was going up. Like, she's that hungry. She might have even been absent-mindedly reaching for some of the food just to kind of, but not. She's very polite, so she would have asked, of course. But it's just kind of absent-minded reaching. But the moment that she sees there's 12 people around this table, they're all dead.
Yeah,
there's a lot of food here.
You essentially reach and you realize that the hand that's like near you is this like almost skeletal hand.
And I would like to pierce the veil to discern, to see if there is something that I'm not seeing about this situation. Okay. And I'm rolling with philosophy.
Philosophy away.
Falafel.
Oh, now I want falafel.
Falafel. So that is, what is my philosophy? Oh, +1. That's not bad. So I rolled a 6 and a 4. +1 is 11. We got this. We got the same first roll.
Wait, actually, I think.
Yeah. Cyril got an 11 on the first roll.
That's so fucking cute. Enjoy the next one. Or I guess enjoy the 3 that you'll get later.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, 11 for me.
Okay, so you have 2 questions that you can ask me. Do you have those questions on hand, or do you want me to read them out to you?
I did just a second ago, but I seem to have. Here we go. Yes, I have them. What do I
and honestly, I think that like if there's another question that you feel fits, I think we can go beyond those 4 questions if you want to like play with them a little bit. I feel like sometimes, you know.
I'm gonna ask. I guess I'm gonna take the "Do I see evidence of" question, and I'm gonna ask, like, does it look like they died naturally? Does it look like they died because of the food on this table? Like, how does essentially, like, do I see evidence of what their cause of death might be, or like how this situation came to be?
Yeah, so from what you can see, you don't see any evidence that they ate anything. It doesn't appear to be poison. it doesn't appear that, that there's no evidence of trauma, there's no evidence of any sort of outside force that came in and killed any of them. What you do see is on each of their plates a small pile of ashes. And it looks almost, they're not so decayed that they're skeletal. They're just quite emaciated, really. It almost looks like they starved to death.
Oh. But how is that possible with all this food here? All right. I will ask. I would like to know if I see, if now that the veil has been parted, what do I see? If there's anything additional that I see that I didn't see before.
You recognize that everything on this table is a cat that's jumped off my desk. Everything on this table, no. Everything on this table is something that at some point has been a favorite food. Something that you have brought home from the grocery store for a meal. Your favorite cut of steak, your favorite kind of fish, your favorite organic vegetable. Everything on the table is something favorite of yours that you have made, either that you have ordered or made into a meal for yourself and for Cyril. And all of them are items that you had previously gotten into a disagreement with him over.
Oh.
The steak that you brought home, and he asked you why you bought a steak when you could have bought twice the amount in chicken. Or the kale when you could have gotten lettuce. Or the lobster when you could have gotten whitefish.
Okay, so this is all like points of contention. Yes. So it's almost like the delicious foods, they're foods that they're also like a little bit of they leave a bit of a sour taste for me because they're all things that I've argued with Cyril about.
Yes, they are all things that he has. They are all things that you have bought, and he has essentially said, "Why did you buy this? This is a waste of money." Each plate has a different meal on it.
Well, first of all, I'm going to just say, I know that we're still on air, but I'm going to just say that Twitch seems to be having some issues.
Oh dear.
Oh, right now. I've just noticed. It's like whenever I refresh it, it does it for a couple of seconds and then it stops. So we should probably stop and maybe go to break.
Yeah, we can do that.
And then just see if we can get Twitch, to see if Twitch will figure itself out.
Let's find out together. Okay. Yeah. So we will hop onto a quick break, perhaps, and we will see what we can do.
So we're gonna head off to a quick break while we try to figure out what's happening with Twitch, if anyone can actually still hear us. And hopefully we'll be back soon. See ya. like,
Hey everyone!
yeah, not sure what happened with Twitch there. So sorry about that. I'm told in the chat that the VOD should be preserved, so hopefully that's the case. Essentially, TLDR, the food that I'm looking at is all points of contention, points of arguments that I've had with Cyril at some point. And they're all eating ash, and they all look like that they might have starved to death, is what I learned.
Despite being right in front of a table full of food. Yes.
Right in front of a table full of food, yeah. I think that so how far away, now that I'm at this table, how far away is this man by the tree stump, or this person?
So the man by the tree stump is just beyond the table. I think it's maybe 10-20 feet beyond the table, so he's probably about 30 feet off from you.
Okay, and this mist around us is pretty thick. I can't see through it, right?
You cannot really see through it. You can see pretty much to the edges of this little walled in meadow area, but you cannot see beyond it.
What happens if I try to touch the mist?
Are you going to go up to the wall? Or are you just like waving your hand in?
Or waving my hand in.
So the mist that you would normally, basics of mist physics. If you wave your hand through the mist, it kind of swirls around your hand. This does not.
Oh, that's concerning.
And normally mist feels wet, moist, dewy. Let's see how many other disturbing adjectives I can come up with. It doesn't feel like mist. It feels like nothing. It's not that it doesn't feel like anything. It specifically feels like nothing.
Oh, and then when I pull my hand away, my hand is not covered in scars or anything. It's like fine.
Still your hand.
Ooh,
it's just for a second. It's just for a second your hand didn't exist.
All right. Okay. So, she will. I think that she will. She's fresh off the back of an argument with Cyril, but she is quite concerned that she doesn't know where Cyril is. I think that, considering as well that money has been tight as of late, I think that she will maybe take some of the food from the table, but not quite eat it yet. I think she wants to go to see what this person by the tree stump is first.
Okay. How are you storing your food? You just shoving it in some pockets, or?
What an excellent question.
Like, there's no Tupperware here. It's a fancy party.
I don't have a bag with me, of course. So
you stormed off with your phone.
I didn't bring my handy.
You didn't bring your handy Tupperware. I'm sorry.
No, I didn't bring that with me. Okay.
She's a person, not a chipmunk.
I'm gonna take a little spoon of caviar. I'm gonna sniff it. Does it smell okay?
It smells like heaven.
Really?
It smells just like caviar, but your favorite brand.
Oh, see that?
Like Kingfish or some shit. I don't fucking know. I don't know caviar. I fucking hate caviar. But you love caviar, so.
I'm gonna take a bite.
All right.
I'm hungry. She's hungry, right?
You're hungry, yeah. So you go ahead and take a bite of this caviar, and you're smelling it. It smells absolutely amazing. You go ahead and take this massive bite, and all of a sudden, instead of caviar, for just a split second, you feel it in your mouth, and then you feel it disintegrate, and it's no longer caviar.
Is it ashy?
It sure is.
Oh,
it sure is.
No.
Just
and
and you spit it out, and this pile of slightly moist ashes falls to the. I'm sorry.
Oh my god, this is supposed to be a heart-rending story, Jen. Why have we done this?
And these ashes just fall to the table, and they look just like the ashes on everyone else's plate.
Yeah, I thought they would. Okay, yeah. she's gonna stare it, and she's gonna look back, and she's gonna go, well, I shouldn't be surprised about that, really. And her stomach's gonna grumble. The person by the stump, have they moved?
They have not moved.
Do they seem alive?
You look a little bit closer. They do seem to be breathing.
Okay, I'm gonna rush over to them because
okay,
some weird shit's happening, and if they're breathing but they're not really moving and stuff, that the instinct kicks in. Like, are they hurt? Like, if these people are emaciated or something has happened, was it because they ate the food and then it's like done something to them? Because I just ate some, so now I need to know. Yeah, so now like she's kind of like panicking a bit now. I think a little bit of like it's the not really knowing what's going on. Like, she's arrived in this place, she doesn't know where it is, and then nothing is behaving in the way it's supposed to be, and the last thing she can remember is the falling and the drop. So now she's starting to panic just a little bit of just like, well, what is going on actually?
What's going on? Why is food ashes?
Yeah, why is food ashes? Why is this delicious table not edible? Why is the mist not mist? What you
I think maybe she missed something. Get it? Because it's missed.
Yeah, I got
okay.
down. I think she's going to go over and she's going to she's going to see, does this person look injured or hurt or like anything of the sort?
This person is not quite at the same level of emaciated as the rest of the table was, but they are very clearly hungry.
Close.
They are very close. They are essentially very close to that starvation point.
Right. So she's gonna go over and she's going to show tenderness, and attempt to like figure out what's going on. She's gonna be like, "Are you okay? Like, what? Did you eat some of the food?" And try to like ask questions, but she's gonna show care, like, because this person is clearly, on their way out, and they're
having a rough time.
They're having a rough time. So it's going to definitely be said with sort of an edge of passion, compassion, I think.
Go ahead and roll your pathos, and let's see where it gets you.
Okay, my pathos is +2.
Yep, I assume the answer is yes.
Okay, so I got an 8 because I got a 4 plus a 2 plus a 2.
Okay. So you get a 7 to 9. They either grow angry at your intrusion or take advantage of your tenderness.
So I get to ask 2 questions because I hit. It was a success, but they might also have a reaction to it. All right. I would like to know what is the cause of their distress. Okay. Is the question I'm going to ask. And I also would like to know how I can convince them to help me find Cyril or find out what's going on here, basically.
Okay. So I think as you're you're rushing over, you're asking them like, are you okay? Are you offering them anything, or are you just asking them like, hey, are you okay?
I think that I'm pointedly telling them that, like, because I can see they're emaciated, I can see that they're starving like me. So I'm pointedly sort of telling them that the food is like, they probably already know this, but I'm telling them that the food is like not right. It's rotten, or there's something wrong with it. And I'm just like, do you know what's wrong with the food? Like, I don't think I'm really like offering them any food because it just turned to ashes in my mouth. Even though I can see that they're probably hungry, I wouldn't offer it to them at this point.
So I'm going to answer your first question, what is the cause of their distress, in the form of them kind of slowly turning their head to look at you. And as they go to speak, you can hear this raspy voice. Their throat is very dry. They have not eaten. They have not had a drink. They clearly haven't spoken to anyone in a while. And they rasp out to you. What the hell does it look like? Everything here that is edible isn't.
All right. Well, I'm trying to help you. I'm only trying to I'm trying to find out what's going on.
Get out.
Get out? Get out from where? We're out in the open.
No. Go on. Try to leave. And they kind of glance over at where you remember seeing the gate.
Oh.
Go on.
Okay. I think that she will try to go to the gate and try to leave.
Okay. And you go ahead and you walk over to the gate. There is a latch on the gate. It's a plain, standard, nondescript iron gate with a latch on it.
Mm-hmm. Try to.
You give it a pull, and it does not budge.
Uh-huh.
And you hear from behind you this rasping, rattling chuckle.
Well, that's really not helpful. As she's trying to
so you can kind of gather the cause of their distress to actually answer your question more directly is that not only can they not eat, but they cannot leave. They are stuck here in this permanent state of semi-starvation, staring at this table full of food. And to answer your second question, how can you convince them to help? Is to find a way to end their suffering one way or another.
I'm gonna ask them, when you try to eat the food, does it turn to ash for you too?
I didn't need the food.
What did you need?
Not that food. All I wanted was something to eat. They all insisted on a feast. All I needed was a sandwich.
Oh, this fucking sandwich again. The recurring theme.
Sandwiches and fingers.
Sandwiches, like I'm trying to figure out this equation around my head. I'm like that meme with all the word sandwiches going around my head.
They insisted on a feast, and they died for their feast.
Okay. So then, what can I get you? How do we get out of here?
You think I know?
Oh God. All right.
I need My cats are fighting in the background. I need a cat tail in front of my face. Well, this is not as dramatic as I was hoping it would be. Just look. There is find me something simple. I don't need lobster. I don't need steak. I don't need the damn caviar. I need something to eat.
You sound like Cyril, you know. Food is food.
Precisely. Food is food.
She sort of gets up and she sort of mutters about, you know, fussiness. Does there seem to be anything simple around that she can get?
I almost said roll perception.
No, there's like no like perception mechanic. Which...
So you don't immediately see anything that is overtly simple. Like pretty much everything on the table, like we're talking like pig with the apple in the mouth. Like it's all very fancy. Even the garnishes are fancy.
What about that?
An interesting thought. The apple is pretty well lodged in the pig's mouth. If you would like, you can try and weave the strands to make something simple.
I think like she would try to, like, she would be looking around, like she'd be like going through the caviar and all of the bougie stuff, and there's just nothing there. There's the whole hog roast with the apple in its mouth, and then I think that the apple would like spark an idea, and she tried to give it a tug, but it wouldn't like quite come out, and maybe as she's kind of like, it's sort of trying is making her feet, it's like squidging it a little bit.
Hate it when you can't pull it out.
I knew it. This is why I stopped talking, because I was like, you're about to say.
I was trying so hard.
And I think that she will, but it will give her enough of an idea that she will reach towards this mist and see if she can get it to manipulate it in some way to form an apple for this person to eat.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to weave the strands. Roll with Pathos.
Pathos is +2.
Look at you. Look at you rolling +2.
Oh, 4 + 4 + 2 is a 10.
Oh, that's absolutely gorgeous. That is a resounding hit.
Hey.
So you reach your hand out into the mists, and you focus all of your attention, all of your energy on forming this apple. You picture the color, you picture how it feels in your hand, how much it weighs, that uncomfortable bit of bitterness when you bite a little bit too far into it. And you don't actually know if you have succeeded at first, because your hand is out in the mist, you can't really quite see it. And you pull it back, and in your hand, what kind of apple is it? I'm curious.
I think
Arnica's here, so I know Arnica has like 100 types of apples, but I want to know what you think it is.
I think it's not like, I think it's a very like, it's not like a proper like crispy, you know when you think of like a fairy tale apple and you think of like those deep red like juicy looking apples. It's not that. It's a very like ordinary, like mostly green. It's really not in any way like delicious or sweet or anything. they wanted simple. And I think that during this like search, she's been thinking more and more about how like this person that's like kind of getting a bit like aggravated even though they're starving, and they're just wanting like some simple food, and they can't eat what's on the table even though it's still food. And she's imagining like these conversations that she used to have with Cyril, and remembering as she's going through like all of like the leftover like bougie fruits, the time that she was complaining about how like we didn't have a particular like type of fruit, probably a bougie fruit of some kind.
Oh, it's a dragon fruit.
Yeah, I was just about to say dragon fruit. Oh no,
It's a durian.
And I just really miss the taste of them, kind of thing. Like they used to be, and like trying to describe, trying to like show, like not necessarily. She always is aware, I think, that it comes across like that she's just too good for like ordinary food. But all she's really trying to get across when she has these conversations with Cyril is that she misses. There's things that she misses. And she's trying, it's her way of kind of trying to show the things that she's sacrificed, and trying to get that acknowledged. But he's very dismissive, and she remembers him sort of plucking an apple from their sort of like fruit bowl that only had a couple left, and there was like this rather bruised looking thing, and his only response was just, we'll just have an apple instead, and completely missed the point of what she was trying to say. But that's the apple that she imagines when she tries to create this apple.
Okay. And as you pull your hand back from the mist, that is the apple that you see in your hand. Just even with those like little finger dents in it from where he grabbed it so firmly.
Oh wow.
From where he firmly grasped it. One thing that you notice though is that you distinctly remember like the slight bruises that his hand had left in it. Like the thumb bruise and the forefinger bruises. There's only 3 finger bruises.
She frowns slightly, but kind of doesn't think too hard on it. I think it's just one of those things that just is an undercurrent of worry about that. Okay, but she kind of puts it down, I think, more to the fact that this place is, everything is just not quite what it seems, or not quite right. And she goes over to this person and she goes, I can see you're hungry, and I'm hungry too, so shall we share it?
And this person slowly nods.
You first. And then she kind of gives the apple.
And you watch as this person, shaking emaciated hand, takes the apple and brings it to their nose and takes a deep inhale. And you see in their expression the exact same expression of hunger, and it's the expression that you get when you smell your favorite food in the world and you just cannot wait to sink your teeth into it and take a bite and savor all of the flavors of it. Just a simple little apple. And this person takes this big whiff of it with this small smile. And they look at you and they say, this is the most beautiful smell in the world. And they take a bite, and it doesn't crunch in that really cool crispy way that everyone loves when they take a bite of an apple. It's this, it's a little bit mealy, it's a little mushy. But to you it looks like this person is enjoying the best meal of their life from that one bite of apple.
Mm-hmm.
And they After a bite, they hand the apple back to you. And they look at you expectantly.
And I think she does try. Like, she looks at it and she tries to do the same thing. She takes a big smell of the apple and she tries to see things from Cyril's point of view for just a moment. She tries to see it for what is there rather than what is missing, and tries to take a big inhale and smell this, and she can kind of smell it. It does smell good. It might not smell like the best, but it smells good.
Especially because, again, like, you are ravenously hungry.
And
now
it's like
all you can think about
stomach
is food.
rumbling. Takes a bite of this.
And again, it's not the most delicious apple in the world. It's not your favorite apple. It's not even really that good of an apple. But it is food. And that bite does not turn to ash in your mouth as the previous bite that you had taken of your favorite caviar had. And as you chew and as you swallow, there is this blossoming feeling inside you of relief and the sating of that hunger. You're not full. You're not even close to full. But you feel
it's enough.
Not nearly as desperate. It is enough.
Yeah. I think for just a second she has like this pang of just really missing Cyril, just for a moment, just like really just almost missing that like I told you so smile on his face of Aww. Just like that she knows that he would give her of like, see, it's fine, like you don't need dragon fruit shit. She looks at this person and she says, it's not food I'm missing. I need to get out of here. How do I unlock the gate?
The only way out is through. You help me, I will help you. Jen knows that rhymed, but
I think she extends her hand to help this person up.
And they just shake their head. Not like that.
How then?
Help me to the table.
She does. Or tries.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to show do I do a move again? Show tenderness?
I think it might be another weave the strands.
Okay.
All of the chairs are full. You're going to need to find a way to sit this person at the table.
Okay. I will attempt to call for an illusion of a chair, I guess, of some kind.
Okay.
Or a shape one.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with Pathos to weave the strand. See if we can make this fucko a chair.
6 + 2 + 2 is 10.
Well, shit. Okay. So,
I'm scared that I've not had a bad roll yet. This is going to come back to haunt me.
Oh, it absolutely will.
You know,
what are we moving?
Well, I was thinking of maybe holding on to it.
You can.
I know, but it means I will fail. Okay, I'm gonna just keep the roll. I'm gonna just keep the roll for now. Okay. This time.
So I think this happens a little bit differently than it did last time. You are looking at this table and you realize sticking out your hand into the mist and calling forth a chair is going to be difficult. So what you do is you turn your attention to the stump.
Oh.
And you focus your energy on this stump. You reach your hand out to it. And you gently brush your fingers over the top of it. And as you do, the stump, a chunk breaks off of it. It's a very clean cut. It's not like you're chopping anything off. It's just one moment it is whole, and the next moment it is not.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the same level of chair. It's not the same fancy ornate chair that is sitting around the table, but it is a small little stool.
Okay.
And you are able to take this little stool and bring it over to the table and help this person to sit. And they look at you and they nod. Just a moment. And they reach for the apple in the pig's mouth. And this time it dislodges.
Wow, you're stronger than you look.
And they bring it to their mouth and they take a bite. And the last thing that you see as the apple and the person crumble into ash
Whoa!
is a smile on their face of relief and peace, leaving a small pile of ash on the stump. And you see something shining in it.
Oh, it's a key, isn't it? I would like to investigate the ash.
And as you sweep this poor fucko off of the stump that you made, you do see a small gleaming iron key.
All right. I'm going to take the key and I'm going to look at the remainder of this apple that the two of us took a bite out of. And I'm going to pocket it. And I'm gonna put forward, and I don't know this is what you had planned, but I'm gonna put forward that this might be my keepsake.
That is exactly what I had planned. Brain cell.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the keepsake. I've got a moldy apple core.
It's not moldy. It's just mushy.
It's mushy apple core and it's a keepsake. Got it. Love it. Yes.
Yep.
And I'm gonna head out of the gate.
And this time, now that you have the key, you are able to slot it into the lock. One thing that you notice about the key is that the pattern on it, the cut of the key, looks like a little keyboard. Just a few little piano keys. As you slot it into the gate, you turn it, you hear the ka-chunk, and you are able to continue through the gate.
Excellent gate impression.
Ka-chunk.
Shall we ask each other a couple of questions?
I think we should ask each other a couple of questions.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
It was not too bad on my end. I did that quite well.
I think you did fucking great. You got a keepsake.
Yeah.
So I ask you a question first, it looks like.
It does look that way.
Which is, what did Orpheus... Well, what did... what the fuck is my name? Cyril. What did Cyril believe was special about you, Kaylee?
I think that so Cyril was a pianist and played at a lot of very well-to-do events, a lot of luxury venues, though not really coming from luxury himself. And I think that Cyril ended up though not really being part of that world, around a lot of people that demanded attention. And I think that what Cyril thought was special about Kaylee, who is from that world, is that she did not demand attention. She was not impatient. She was not arrogant. She was something of a wallflower. She was just observant. She offered like quite most of the time she offered the things that she felt that people needed in the moment. If people needed to sort of like boast, then she would offer in a very impressed ear. She, I think that's what like Cyril would have noticed about her, is that she never demanded anything back for the things that she gave.
That's adorable.
Yeah. All right. My question for you then, which I did have up and then promptly just how did Cyril and Kaylee meet?
So, Cyril primarily works as a lounge pianist. His most reliable gigs are in the more high-end hotels in the city of, I don't fucking know, Seattle or something.
The what?
I don't know. And normally Cyril always liked to kind of people watch as he was playing, but never really spent too much time on it. Until one day there was a conference of some sort. Lots of fancy people, lots of rich people running around, eating finger foods in the lobby. And checking in to the conference one day was this adorable someone who walked in, and the first thing they did wasn't to demand that someone take their coat or look for the wine. The first thing that she did was to look around and take in the lobby, and their eyes met. And he could not look away.
Oh.
He was in the middle of playing something. He was in the middle of playing something, and it was a little tune that he's played 1,000 times, and he realized as their eyes met, and as he just could not tear his eyes away, his fingers just kept going out of muscle memory, and he actually finished the song that way, just looking at her. And at the end of the song, as he was changing tack and as he was figuring out, what song do I play next, he did something that he never does, and he stood up to go say hi. And that is how they met.
Aww. Aww.
And it was all downhill from there.
And it was all downhill. Whee! All right. With that, I think we're gonna go on a break now.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go on a proper break, because I don't think the other break counts. And we will be back in, let's say we'll be back in about 5-10 minutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, we will continue on to the next book and see where we get to. So, see you soon.
See y'all soon.
everyone. We are back. Very short break, but we're eager to continue telling our story. We are currently playing Follow Me Down, a game by Drowning Moon Studios. We are really enjoying it. We are telling our own version of the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. For those of you that might have only just joined us or don't know what's going on, that's the lowdown. that's what's going on. Our hapless couple have faced a couple of trials, and it is now time for us to cut back to me in the role of the Fates and Jen in the role of Cyril, our Orpheus. So Cyril,
Hi, I've got a good voice.
You wind your way through this forest on top of this creature. What you will probably have learned about this creature is that it does not seem to have its own method of talking. It interacts via mimicking and basically makes its intentions clear, but it is not able to really offer you any information. It seems to have a pretty good idea of where it's going, and it follows alongside the river, occasionally kind of veering off. You see a moment where the river forks, and on one side it sort of disappears into this mist, and on the other side you can hear the sound of rushing water. Not dissimilar to that of a waterfall. At this point, the three-headed dog that you are currently riding, it's quite an epic cinematic visual actually, begins to pick up a bit of speed. I'm about to start choking.
Don't die.
One moment, I'm going to refill my drink.
Hello, everyone. It's me. Insert witty time filler here. I have 2 cats. They're demons. Hi, Steph. Please enjoy the beautiful, quiet piano music. It's very pretty. Kitties? The kitties are not in the room right now. They are off being menaces somewhere else, I think. Probably terrorizing each other. Everything's fine. It's fine.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Cat's back! There's a cat. I found a cat.
All right. I am recovering from a very bad cough, so give me a second.
How dare you?
Oh, I was like, I do not want to start choking on stream. Okay. All right. It begins to pick up speed. I can still feel it. I can still feel it, and I'm like, please don't do this to me. I just want it to stop. Oh God, I hate this so much. We got to break for just a minute while I like.
Absolutely, we'll be back in a couple minutes.
Hey everyone. Okay, so I'm not quite as better as I thought I was. Is what I'm learning. And that's fine. That's a learn. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish up for today. Because I can't get through too many paragraphs without choking. So we've just kind of we'll just be starting from where we were left off there, and I'll start the whole explanation again when we start next week's stream. Thank you all so much for coming by and watching. This has been really fun. We're enjoying this story immensely. I cannot wait to see what happens to Cyril and Kaylee next. And we will finish our two-shot, perhaps slightly shortened than we'd originally planned, but that's fine. And I can see that people in the chat are talking about Hadestown. Yes, I love Hadestown. It's my favorite. It's my favorite musical. Yeah, I mean, I could have kept trying to do it, but I think it would have just been a lot of me just going, Jen, can you put us on break while I go and cough my up again for another 5 minutes?
And more importantly, he got a rest.
And we don't have that long before we were going to finish anyway. So without further ado, let me start by introducing myself, and then I'll let Jen talk for a bit while I drink some more water. So I'm Kat. I am the Law Mistress, or Law Mistress 93 on pretty much all social media. I am a writer, editor, and actual play producer. I've not been doing a whole lot of streams as of late for a variety of reasons. Sickness, things coming up, just lots and lots of things. But I'm coming back into it now. I've got lots of two-player games, really fun two-player games that I'm going to be playing when I'm better. And I think the next one that I have planned is on, is it Tuesday the 5th of March? I
believe it.
Tuesday. Tuesday, let's go with it. Tuesday the 5th of March. I will be playing Insatiable Cravings with Ghost Candle, so that's going to be great. I've also got a stream of Love is on the Cards next week, and of course the ending, the finale of this with Jen, which we're very, very excited about. So that's me, pretty much. That's what I'm working on and doing. Jen, tell us about yourself. I'm going to mute my mic.
Hi, everyone. I almost said hi, Kat. Hi, Kat. Hi, everyone. I have been your friendly local Orpheus / Cyril. My actual name is Jen. I can be found on various socials as Jenburb. I spend most of my time either here or over on Girls Run These Worlds, which, by the way, we have a Numenera series coming up tonight, so come watch. And with that, I am a pretty boring person, so I'm going to go ahead and pop it back to Kat if you are finished hacking your lungs out.
Lungs still about just intact. Yeah, well, with that, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next week for the continuation of Cyril and Kaylee's story. Hopefully we unlock the good ending, but if we don't, then I don't know, at least then nobody lost a finger
where we did.
Yeah, we can just all dream about what it could have been, you know. All right, well,